Hello, in this video we're going to be taking a look at the Transmog system in World of Warcraft, and we're also going to be showcasing a pretty cool add-on called CanIMogIt. So, what is Transmog? Transmog is the ability for you to collect gear, weapons, and armor, and acquire the appearance of that item and then be able to later on equip a different item but apply the appearance of that first item to the new one. Basically, you can get a helmet and make it look like a different helmet. So to get into your Transmog interface or look at your collection, you're going to want to hit Shift and P. That's going to bring up your collections. And in your collections, you want to go to the Appearances tab. And this is going to show you the different appearances that you've collected. You can also change it to show the stuff you haven't collected. So we're going to go through this real quick and just kind of showcase what this menu does. So right now, we're able to filter by our different weapon, or sorry, not weapon, our different equipment slots. So we've got head, shoulders, back, chest, shirt, tabard, wrist, gloves or hands, waist, legs, and feet. Those are the armor pieces that have transmog appearances. There are no transmog appearances for neck pieces. There are no transmog appearances for rings, fingers, or trinkets. So any of those items you get won't have transmogs associated with them. So this allows you to click and look at the different transmogs that you have collected. As far as your weapons go, you have your main hand appearances and your offhand appearances. And on the weapons, you can select from a drop down to change it. So, for example, these are the two-handed sword transmogs I've collected. I can switch over to the one-handed axes. Same thing on my offhand. This will just show me held in offhand stuff here. These little scrolls here are weapon enchantments. So these are different. You can collect different enchantments so that you have like a little glow to your weapon. So if we went ahead and we previewed this, to preview something, you hit Control and then left click on it. You can see that this enchantment here, Colossus, gives it like a little blue glow kind of going on. If we switch to Life Stealing, that's going to change that one as well. Some of these, they're kind of hard to notice depending on the weapon you have equipped, but they're there. So you can see those. If we go into the headpiece, I can preview some different headpieces here. I could change my chest piece. So these are the transmogs that I've collected. That's how you look at them. You can also click up here to filter. I'm only showing the stuff I have collected. You can show the stuff you haven't collected, and you can see I've got 3 pages of chest pieces here. This jumps it up to 12, and the stuff you haven't collected will be at the end and be like in gray. So like I haven't collected this one, and I can kind of show that there. It's probably better with a helmet. We'll check out a helmet real quick. So here's a helmet I haven't collected because it's from Battle for Azeroth. And holy cow, that looks cool. Alright. I hadn't seen that one yet. That's pretty dope. A lot of helmets on Worgen just look really, really bad. And that one actually looks pretty cool. So anyway, so you can check out, preview some stuff. Now the cool thing about this is when you've collected it, it doesn't really say anything. But if we look at this helmet here that I, think looks awesome, it'll tell you other items that use this appearance. And you can see there's the Great Helm of the Putrid Path, which is this item, and you can see that it's a boss drop. And then you can tab through and look at the different items, and up at the top it tells you this helmet is a boss drop from the Unbound Abomination in the Underrot. The next one is from Dazar, the First King and King's Rest Mythic. And then the next one is from Yasma and Atal Dazar. So you can find out where these are from. Like this is from the Burning Antorus, the Burning Throne raid. So that's how you can kind of find out where you want to collect these items from. Also under filter, you can go to sources and you can change sources so that like this is only showing boss drop stuff. But if we look at this, I've got 11 pages. If I check all, that's going to jump up to 24 pages because it's showing stuff you can get from quest, vendors, world drops, achievements, and professions, as well as boss drops. So that's all in there. And then you do have another tab here called sets. If you click on sets, this is going to show you all of the set pieces that are available. Sets are basically collections of armor that match and have a theme. A lot of these were raid sets. Some of them were, special collectors things like the Fellforged armor. This was for the Legion invasions when Legion launched. So these are all in here. They have the oldest ones at the very bottom. So this is the original Naxxramas set, which was the first one that Death Knights could get. And then I'll go all the way up to the most recent one, which is Antorus the Burning Throne. And this will show you the same thing. It'll show you what pieces you've collected, and it'll show you where you get the pieces that you haven't collected. Now, the cool thing about this is if you didn't know, different difficulty levels of the raids have different tints for the same armor set. So like if we look at this one, this is the Tomb of Sargeras set on normal difficulty. If we click this tab here, we can look, this is the raid finder, the LFR coloring. So in order to collect this, you would need to go through and get all these pieces playing through the raid finder difficulty of Tomb of Sargeras. This would be playing through on normal. Then heroic is this one. And then finally, if you do it on mythic, this is what it looks like. In more recent expansions, they've made it so that the mythic sets generally have a little extra flair compared to the normal ones. So yeah, that pretty much covers just about everything. You will see a little bar up here. This is showing me I've collected 6 of 38 different sets. If you go into items, I've collected 71 of 424 helmets. So I still have plenty of stuff to collect if I want to. And that's kind of how the transmog stuff works there. Now, as far as how to actually transmog your stuff, you can go to a city, fly to any of the city guards or any of the people who can help give you directions. They're going to have this little symbol here, that kind of like map looking symbol on the cursor. You can talk to them and you can say, I'm looking for transmogrification, and they're going to mark the location on your map. So we can see right here, this little red flag, that's where the transmog person is. So we can go over there. All right. And when you go inside, you're going to see a guy here who's going to be called Transmogrifier. You just right click on him, you say, I want to transmogrify my gear. And then when you're in here, this is the transmog menu. And you'll be able to click on things, kind of create a custom look. So let's say I wanted this helmet. And then I was going to go through and put on, these shoulder pads. Keep on going. I'm just creating some sort of outfit here. Change my belt. And when you're ready, when you're done, you can choose to save this. So I can save this as a new outfit, and I can call it tutorial. And save that. Okay, so now if I were to close this window out, come back in, I want to transmogrify my gear, I can go down to tutorial and it'll automatically have saved those things that I set up. When you're ready to apply that appearance, you hit apply and it's going to charge you this amount of gold. So make sure that you're not spending a ridiculous amount of money on your transmogs unless you really want to. Something to note is that weapons, if you look here, I've transmogrified 4 different pieces of gear right now. And you could tell that because they have these shiny rotating borders on them. and it cost me 153 gold. If you transmog a weapon, that jumps up by a ton. So that was like almost an added 300 gold. So let's say I didn't want to transmog this weapon. I changed my mind. I realized, oh, that's going to cost too much money. You can just right click on the thing that you've transmogged, and that'll put it back to what it is by default. All right. So then we can go ahead and hit apply. And now my Death Knight is wearing that transmog that we just made, which is pretty ugly. So then we can go back in here, and I've got one saved in here, bronze. So it'll automatically default to whatever your top outfit is, and it'll already have everything transmogged the way you want it, so I can reapply that, and we're good to go. Also, some items can be hid. So this first option on the helmet is to hide your helmet. You can also hide your shoulders. You can hide your cloak. You cannot hide your chest piece. You can hide your tabard. You cannot hide your bracers or your gloves. You can hide your belt. Gotta keep your pants on and gotta keep your shoes on. So you can go all the way down to just your shirt, bracers, gloves, legs, and pants if you want, and that could be your transmog. So that's how that works. Also, on this screen, there is a tab for sets, and this will show sets that you have a complete set of. So you can just click on these and automatically transmog into those sets. You can also find these pieces though, like if we look at this crazy helmet, if I go back to items, and let's just set my guy back the way he was. If we go into helmets, you'll see that that crazy helmet is one that I still have in here and can just equip on its own. Like there's one of them. And there's the one that was on the set. So you don't have to use the whole set. You can use a piece from the set to create an outfit. Okay, so that's basically how Transmog is going to work. Now, I wanted to show you an add-on that I like to use called CanIMogIt. So typically, when you are looking at items in your bag, they're going to tell you, for example, this one shows nothing. This one says you haven't collected this appearance at the bottom of the tooltip. So that lets me know, oh, hey, I haven't collected this appearance. The thing with Transmog is you can only collect the appearance for something that the character you're on can wear, and it has to be suitable to their class. So what I mean is, like, I could put this male chest piece on my Death Knight, but I can't collect the transmog for it because my Death Knight is supposed to wear plate armor. So if you want to collect plate transmogs, you have to do it on a plate wearing character. Same for leather, mail, and cloth. You have to do it on a class where that is their primary armor type. For weapons, that character just has to be able to equip that weapon. So if you're looking for weapon transmogs, a lot of times it's good to run things on a warrior because the warriors can use almost every type of weapon. There's a couple they can't use, like I think they can't use wands. But keep that in mind as you're going out to transmog. This also applies to the sets. A lot of the item sets are specific to a class. So you can't go out and get a cool warlock set with a mage because the mage can't wear the warlock set. So keep that in mind. But what we're looking at now is the tooltips, right? So that one tells me you haven't collected this appearance, but I have to know, like, okay, and I can't because this is male and it's soulbound to me, so I can't do anything about it. In the case of, like, these waterfall shoulder pads, they're cloth. If it said that I hadn't collected the appearance, because this is bind on equip, I can send it to one of my characters that is a cloth wearer, and as long as they are able to equip the item, Like this requires level 88, so as long as that character was level 88 and could put this on, they could collect the appearance for that item. So keep that in mind. If it's not soulbound to you, you can send it to another character that can wear it. They can equip it. It soulbinds to them. Then you get the appearance, and then you can sell it or get rid of it or whatever you want to do. Down here, I've got a couple of helmets that I purchased because I haven't collected the appearance from them. And you can see right down there in the tooltip, it tells me you haven't collected this appearance. So there is some kind of help for you by default with the regular UI. But what I want to show off is this add-on called CanIMogIt. So we're going to go ahead and activate this one. We're going to reload our UI, and then we're going to take a look at our bags. Nothing's changed, right? That's because I disabled all the stuff for CanIMogIt because I wanted to show you everything one by one. So to get into CanIMogIt, we're going to type in our chat /CanIMogIt. So it would be CanIMogIt, or you can just type CIMI for CanIMogIt. That's going to bring up the configuration window. This is all it is. So what this is going to allow us to do is add some icons to our items here. So we want to make sure we have show bag icons checked. So as you can see, we're getting little icons on every single item in our bag. So what these icons tell us, they tell us a few different things. If we have the orange X, it tells us that we haven't learned this transmog. If we have the grayed out circle, it means you can't learn a transmog from this item. If we have the little green one with the slash through it, it means we can't learn it. We haven't collected it, but we also can't learn it. So in this case, we haven't collected this appearance, but it's a leather item, so we can't collect it on this Death Knight. If it has the little check mark in the box, it means that we have learned it. And we can see this one here. I'm going to pull it out. If we have a check mark right here, with that circle around it, it means we've collected the appearance, but we haven't collected it from this item. So some items have the same appearances, and if you collect one appearance, you have it, but you don't have it technically from the other one, so it'll show you that as well. Now, we don't need all these icons here, and that's where some of these other options give us the ability to kind of declutter this, because this is a lot of icons. You know, there's something on every single thing. So we can first of all set it so that it's only going to show this on equipable items, right? Like I have these Dark Moon ride tickets. You can't even wear those, so obviously you can't transmog them. So why do we need an icon on them, right? So if we click on equipable items only, anything that is not equipable will now no longer have an icon on it, and we can just ignore it. Then we can also toggle on so that only shows this on stuff that can be transmogged anyway. So as I told you before, I've got a bunch of neck pieces and rings and stuff here. You can't transmog those. They don't have appearances. So we can click this and all the icons go off of that as well. The next thing we can do is click unknown items only. So this will only, if we already know the transmog, we don't need to see the icon for it, right? We just want to kind of sell that item or do whatever with it and get rid of it. So we can click this and that takes it off everything that we don't know. It also removes it from the things that we can't learn because they're soulbound to us. So in this case, this is we have these leather shoes that we can't learn. So it just takes the item off and it lets us know, don't even worry about that because you can't learn it anyway. And those are the toolboxes or the checkboxes that I recommend that you click on. And so I got these helmets here as an example, and we're going to zoom in on our Death Knight here. And so you can see this says not learned. We got a nice big orange X there letting us know that it isn't learned. So I can go ahead and equip this Now it's soulbound to me. And you can see in my chat here it says Cobalt Helm has been added to your appearance collection. You can click on that and it will actually open up your appearance window and let you see there it is. You're good to go. And now if we pop it back off, you can see there's no icon on it because we already know it. We can do the same thing with the rest of these. And these are some old school low graphics items there. All right. And so that's how CanIMogIt works. If you do a lot of legacy farming, or if you're just leveling and you're worried about Transmog, this is a great add-on to get to help you just quickly at a glance know what you can vendor, know what you should take a look at. And I use this all the time because I do a ton of transmog farming and stuff. So hopefully this has helped giving you a good introduction to the transmog system in World of Warcraft if you're not familiar with it. And CanIMogIt is a great add-on to use for that. So I hope that you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.